Sea monsters have always been considered to be mythical creatures at the center of told tales, but science has shown us the story of real-life monsters which lurked once in Earth's prehistoric seas. Sharks with saws in their mouths, creatures larger than a T-Rex, prehistoric whales which fed on other whales, these are 10 terrifying titans that lived in our prehistoric oceans. Number 10. Tylosaurus. Tylosaurus was the deadliest hunter of the ancient seas, ready to seize and kill just about any smaller creature that crossed its path, with true jaws of death lined on each side with 2 rows of pointy, cone-shaped teeth. This predatory marine reptile is closely related to modern monitor lizards and to snakes from the late Cretaceous. Tylosaurus grew more than 45 feet long, making it the largest of the marine reptiles called Mosasaurs. Like all mosasaurs, a long and muscular vertically flattened tail powered Tylosaurus through the water, allowing it to ambush its prey with rapid bursts of acceleration. Paddle-like limbs help steer the slim body covered in lizard-like scales through the water. Preserved stomach contents indicate that this mosasaur had a varied diet, including fish, sharks, smaller mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, and flightless diving birds, such as Hesperornis. Though not a dinosaur, Tylosaurus lived alongside them and went extinct at around the same time. Many Tylosaur remains have been found in Kansas, which was once covered by a large ocean called the Western Interior Seaway. Number 9. Plesiosaur. In 1821, British geologist Henry de la Beche and William Conybeare presented a bizarre, previously unknown fossil creature to their colleagues in the Geological Society of London. They called their monster Plesiosaurus, an ancient marine reptile that lived during the early part of the Jurassic period, 215 million years ago. They belonged in the order Plesiosaur, which is divided into 2 groups, the long-necked plesiosaurs and the short-necked plesiosaurs. Plesiosaurs were massive animals. They grew up to 43 feet long, with large bodies and small triangular heads with smooth, sharp teeth. Their most distinguishable features was their long necks, having up to 76 vertebrae, over 10 times more than found in humans. They used all 4 of their flippers to swim in a form of underwater flight, similar to the movement of a dragonfly. However, they were air breathers, coming up to the surface for oxygen before every dive. One thing that separates Plesiosaur from the other prehistoric marine reptiles is how it reproduced. They gave birth to live young in the water like sea snakes, which means they may have been warm-blooded. Number 8. Leadsickthis. The Victorian-era British collector Alfred Leeds was the first to discover bones of the giant fish back in 1889, near Peterborough, England. Similar discoveries were later made at sites ranging from continental Europe to Latin America. Unfortunately, although the remains of over 70 individuals have been found, most of them are partial and fragmentary. That's because the prehistoric fish had a cartilage-heavy skeleton that does not fossilize easily. The lack of a preserved vertebral column has made it difficult to estimate the exact length of the Leadsickthis. But based on their best estimates, scientists believe it could grow to more than 25 feet long and weigh up to 50 tons. However, the problem is that in spite of the dozens of fossil remains from around the world, these specimens don't consistently add up to a convincing snapshot, leading to grossly divergent size estimates. That's why the complete name of this prehistoric fish is Leadsickthis problematicus, which should give you some clue about the controversy occasioned. As for its feeding, this Jurassic fish was equipped with a whopping 40,000 teeth, which it used not to prey on larger fish and marine reptiles of its day, but to filter feed plankton, much like a modern blue whale. Scientists believe Leadsickthis became extinct some 66 million years ago, after falling victim to whatever catastrophic event killed the dinosaurs. Its existence paved the evolutionary way for the giant sea mammals of today like blue whales, as well as cartilaginous fish such as manta rays, basking sharks, and whale sharks. Number 7. Cronosaurus. Cronosaurus queenslandicus, with an estimated length of 30 to 36 feet, was one of the largest and deadliest reptiles in the history of life on Earth. Its name honors the Greek mythological figure Crono, the father of Zeus and the leader of the Greek Titans. The type fossil of Cronosaurus K. queenslandicus was discovered in northeastern Australia in 1899, but only officially named in 1924. 3/4 of a century later, a farmer turned up another, more complete specimen, later named K. boyacensis, in Colombia, a country best known for its prehistoric snakes, crocodiles, and turtles. To date, these are the only 2 identified species of Cronosaurus. Like other plesiosaurs, Cronosaurus was a marine reptile. It had an elongated head, a short neck, a stiff body propelled by 4 flippers, and a relatively short tail. It was carnivorous, had many long, sharp, conical teeth. Fossil stomach contents from northern Queensland show that Cronosaurus preyed on turtles and plesiosaurs. But also he could have fed on Aeromangosaurus, according to some marks found on its skull that could be from a Cronosaurus attack. And as curious data, this species got its Hollywood debut in Jurassic World. Number 6. Leopleuridon. Leopleuridon is a genus of large plesiosaur that originated during the late Jurassic period in what is now Europe. Arguably the largest member of the family, measuring at maximum 49 feet and weighing over 30 tons. Its body would have cruised silently through the shallow and deep seas, propelled by its flapping flippers. It was capable of living for over 100 years. The coloration of Leopleuridon was very similar to that of a great white shark. Black scales on the top half of its body, probably to camouflage it from prey above it, while on the other half of its body were gray to white scales that would camouflage it from prey below it. Leopleuridon possessed the fundamental characteristics of the typical plesiosaur, such as large, heavy, bottlenose-shaped skull, transported by a short neck and 4 large flipper limbs. Its large jaws carried a row of protruding needle-sharp teeth. Being one of the largest carnivores to have existed, Leopleuridon was the apex predator of every area it lived in. They had a variety of prey consisting of sharks, marine crocodiles, ichthyosaurs, other plesiosaurs, and the largest fish that ever lived, Leadsickthis. As Cronosaurus, Leopleuridon also got its Hollywood debut in Jurassic World 2. Number 5. Helicoprion. The majority of the remains of this shark are the teeth, which are fossilized in a spiral pattern like the shell of an ammonite. In fact, when first discovered, these fossils were actually thought to be some kind of exotic ammonite shell. The tooth whorl was not realized to be in the lower jaw until the discovery of the skull of a related genus of eugoneodont, Ornithoprion, in 2013. The tooth whorl represented all the teeth produced by that individual in the lower jaw. As the individual grew, the older, smaller teeth were moved into the center of the whorl by larger, newer teeth appearing. It was like a mutant creature from a horror movie. Basically, it looked like a shark with a terrifying buzzsaw in its jaw, and its bite was as strong as a modern crocodile's. Helicoprion lived in the oceans of the early Permian, 290 million years ago, with species known from North America, Eastern Europe, Asia, and Australia. The closest living relatives of Helicoprion are the chimeras. Number 4. Leviathan. Leviathan was at the very top of the food chain, and it must have needed a lot of food. While modern sperm whales mainly eat squid, it is thought that Leviathan used its fearsome teeth to kill its own kind, the giant baleen whales. Researchers originally assigned the English name of the biblical monster Leviathan to this prehistoric whale as Leviathan Melville, dedicating the discovery to Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick. The researchers behind the excavation of El Melville were all fans of this novel. Leviathan Melville was 44 to 57 feet long, about the same as a modern adult sperm whale, while making it one of the largest predators to have ever existed. The teeth of Leviathan measured 1.2 feet and are the largest biting teeth of any known animal, excluding tusks. It is distinguished from the other raptorial sperm whales by the basin on the skull and how it spans the entire length of the snout. Using its large and deeply rooted teeth, it is likely to have hunted large prey near the surface, its diet probably consisting mainly of medium-sized baleen whales ranging from 20 to 30 feet in length. It probably also preyed upon sharks, seals, dolphins, and other large marine vertebrates, occupying a niche similar to the modern killer whale, Orcanus orca. Number 3. Mosasaurs. During the Cretaceous period, mosasaurs were among the ocean's most fearsome and successful predators. They were marine reptiles that are thought to be closely related to snakes and monitor lizards. They were highly adaptable, and many different species evolved and came to dominate ocean habitats worldwide. Some even took to freshwater rivers to hunt. Mosasaurs were so well adapted to this environment that they most likely gave birth to live young, rather than returning to the shore to lay eggs as sea turtles do. Many prowled the open ocean, devouring fish, sharks, plesiosaurs, sea turtles, seabirds, and sometimes even smaller mosasaurs. Mosasaurs had a body shape similar to that of a modern-day monitor lizard, but were more elongated and streamlined for swimming. Their limb bones were reduced in length, and their paddles were formed by webbing between their long finger and toe bones. Their tails were broad and supplied their locomotive power. Their jaws contained 2 rows of conical teeth designed to chomp and hold prey before swallowing it whole. Its size varied greatly. 2 of the largest mosasaurs were Mosasaurus and Tylosaurus, each stretched 30 to 50 feet, longer than a T-Rex. Number 2. Megalodon. Megalodon, meaning large tooth, was not only the biggest shark in the world, but one of the largest fish ever to exist. Estimates suggest it grew to between 15 and 18 meters in length, 3 times longer than the largest recorded great white shark. Most reconstructions show it looking like an enormous great white shark, but this is now believed to be incorrect. This mega shark likely had a much shorter nose or rostrum when compared with the great white, with a flatter, almost squashed jaw. Like the blue shark, it also had extra long pectoral fins to support its weight and size. But without a complete megalodon skeleton, it's hard to figure it out. In fact, almost all fossil remains of megalodon are teeth. Sharks continually produce teeth throughout their entire lives. Depending on what they eat, sharks lose a set of teeth every 1 to 2 weeks, getting through up to 40,000 teeth in their lifetime. This means that shark teeth are continuously raining down onto the ocean floor, increasing the chance that they will get fossilized. So this extraordinary information may help us create a better picture of what these gigantic predators looked like. Number 1. Basilosaurus. Basilosaurus was a genus of large predatory prehistoric whale from the late Eocene, approximately 41 to 34 million years ago. The first fossils were discovered along the Gulf Coast of the United States. They were originally thought to be of a giant reptile, hence the suffix saurus, which means lizard. However, the animal was later found to be an early marine mammal. It is considered to have been common in the Tethys Sea. It was the top predator of its environment, preying on sharks, large fish, and other marine mammals, namely the dolphin-like Dorudon, which seems to have been their predominant food source. Basilosaurs, unlike modern cetaceans, had various types of teeth, such as canines and molars in its mouth, and it probably was able to chew its food in contrast to modern cetaceans, which swallow their food whole. Measuring 49 to 66 feet, they are considered the largest known animals to exist from KPG extinction event 66 million years ago to around 15 million years ago when modern cetaceans began to reach enormous sizes. The ocean is a huge place and largely remains unexplored. You never know when the next extinct animal may turn out to be more alive than we thought. Meanwhile, you should be careful not to run into any of these beasts that, to this day, inhabit our planet.